What up, people?
Good Lord, man. You're blowing out people's ears and shit.
I want them to know I'm ready to throw down my straight fire podcast.
Okay.
I got so many topics to talk about.
Okay. Well, go for it. You got shit to talk about. Go for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, damn, we're not even going to give them an intro. We're just going to get into it?
All right, mofos. All right, you fucking savages. Because apparently some savages follow me. Because remember that one girl we had on here for the Boo podcast?
Mm-hmm.
She had a stalker in the last podcast she was on. And that dude is like back again with another profile. And apparently he's following just you and I and her.
Yeah, he is.
I guess this is confirmation for that dude that's her, I guess. But
it's almost like we know said person. It's almost like we hung out with them. I don't know, a few times maybe or something. Almost. Well,
like you think you know who this is.
We were an Applebee's together somewhere. I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
I just think
saw him in passing.
I think we attracted some savages, man. I think we attracted some
savagely thirsty people. Yeah, we do. We do that.
Well, whatever. All you savages need to chill, man. You guys need to chill. You're coming on too strong, man.
That's a good way to start it. Do dudes really think like slide into DMs works?
I'm sure it works for some girls.
Yeah, like really lonely girls, or
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I'm not here to judge.
Granted, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, you think it works?
I think it has probably worked.
Now, okay, if I got a normal sized dick, not saying I do, but like most DMs start with like, oh man, here's my giant penis pic.
I think that comes from the idea that men are, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I think that comes from the idea that women are as visual creatures as much as men are. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem because when you're a guy, you assume a guy thinks the way I'm an idiot. When you're a guy, you assume a girl thinks the way a guy does, and that's just not the case. Like you can't assume that what will work for a man works for a woman. For example, if you're a dude, here ladies, here's a tip for you ladies out there. If you're in a loving relationship with your man and you feel like things are getting a little stale, you feel like things aren't as spicy in the bedroom as they used to, then this is what you do. Here, I'm gonna give you girls some tips. When your man's coming home, you know when he's coming home. So you pretend like you're asleep. You pretend like you're asleep. Let's say he's getting home late from work and you're already in bed or whatever. What you do, just be buck-ass naked in the bed. Buck-ass naked under the sheets.
Right.
And then when he crawls in the bed, just pretend to be asleep. And when he crawls into bed, just kind of start like wiggling over to him and just start rubbing up against him a little bit. And then when he turns around and then just touches your hip or whatever, and it's just like, there's no clothes on here. And then all of a sudden he's gonna like probably lift up the sheets a little bit to see what the situation is down there. Oh, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That boy's about to grab that. That boy's about to rub his giant metal pipe up and down wherever he wants. You know what I'm saying? He's about to go to town. That's how you spice things up, ladies. Just letting you know. That's what's up. Or if you're a hell of a freak, just literally, if you're a freak, when your dude's walking in, let's say he's just like tired from work, it's like 6 p.m. or something, and he's like, man, I'm tired. I'm just glad to be home. And you're not like anywhere like in the living room or the kitchen or whatever. He's like, where's she at? So you like literally just opens the bedroom door, and you're there just straight buck-ass naked spread eagle on the bed, on the bed, and then she's just like, I'm glad you're home. That's going to get it popping off too.
Wow, that escalated quickly, man.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, if you're a freak, that's the way to go. But once again, that comes down to my point that men are very visual people. Mm-hmm. If you did that, dude, if a girl did that to you, you'd be like, oh, I'm about to break you like a Kit Kat bar that was made in what year are we in? I'm about to break you like a Kit Kat bar that was made in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? Just straight crack it open like a saltine cracker. You know what I'm saying? Just crack.
Not the good kind, right? The cheap ones?
Nah, just the Walmart brand. What is it? What is
Great Value?
Great Value. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just break like a Kit Kat bar in the commercials. But that's the difference between men and women.
Yeah,
men are generally very visual people, and that's another reason why video games, magazines, car sales, pornography is all marketed towards men, because it's a visual medium, and men are visual people versus women who want the emotional. They want to be wooed over. They want to be pursued. They want to be, It's an emotional and visual and everything else combined. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So assuming that a woman's gonna is gonna respond to a dick pic like a dude will respond to like a boob pic.
Yeah.
Is a little crazy. That's what I'm saying. You savages need to chill. You know,
Deal.
Chill. Love you,
Deal.
peeps, because it's great that you guys are like, you know,
really into it, and we got some fans.
Yeah, it's great that you guys are
the fans a little too much. Becoming the obsessive fan I don't need.
Yeah, I think we all just need to, chill a little bit. But you guys are savages. I'm appreciating you guys listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
it's really funny because what's the word I'm looking for? Like the niche, not the niche, but maybe the more controversial podcast, or maybe maybe the better word is politically incorrect podcasts get more views. Mm-hmm. So like the pornography one, the breast implant one, whatever is more clickbaitish gets more views than some of the other stuff. So that's it. Time to start talking about gangbangs and airtight. You know what I'm saying?
Airtight. That's the funniest shit I still have ever heard to this day.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Dude, I think every time we're about to start this podcast, I'm gonna preload Urban Dictionary just in case shit comes off.
You should get on that.
Which, by the way, your present's on the way for Christmas. Just letting you know.
No, I don't want it.
Foreshadowing event.
No, I don't want it.
Foreshadowing event.
I'm not gonna open it.
Just saying, man. I'm here.
I'm gonna open it, but I'm gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna take it with me.
You're gonna take it home, and I'm gonna make you wear it. I'm going to make you wear it on one of our vlog trips.
No.
Just so ladies know what's up.
No.
Just so ladies know you got that baby brain ready. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what do you got, dude? What do you got? Oh, okay, before I go any further, and now that I went into a 1,000,000-word rant about sexuality and the difference between men and women, I want to remind everybody, because I hate doing this at the end of the podcast, because it doesn't make sense for me to do this at the end of the podcast. If you guys like these type of things, hit that like button. Comment down below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You know what I love? Once again, I'll say this again because I would love to do this. I would love to get letters from people like the Hodge twins do about relationship advice. That would be hilarious and fun to do. Comment down below if you want to do that kind of stuff, or send me stuff. Videos, reactions, or whatever you guys want us to cover. Let me know via PM, DM, comment, like. And then also, as always, I've linked down that website where you can download this in an audio format, because I don't expect all of y'all to watch YouTube the whole video. Like, I get it. It's an hour-long podcast usually, and so to watch this on like a train or whatever, wherever your commute is, and then to have all that data on your plans, it's gonna be a bit much. So
it might be, yeah.
Yeah, so I have the link for everything down below, and if at some point this takes off and this is something that people really, really end up enjoying and liking and whatever, maybe I'll look into how to do this on upload this to iTunes, because it seems like a big old ordeal to do that, to be honest with you.
It seemed like a lot when you're telling me about it.
Yeah, so once again, just link how you can download this audio format below. So, all right, dude, go ahead. I'm giving you the mic. Oh, which, by the way, before we get into that, what's another thing I need to stop you? I want to apologize to you, because I re-listen to these podcasts when I edit them and I prepare them, and then afterwards just to see how to like improve things. And I feel like I cut you off a lot. And so
you just fucking did it right
like
there?
I just did right now, yeah. And so it's not like a rude cutoff. It's just like my OCD-ness. Like, you know me well enough to know that, like, if I don't get stuff out sometimes, like, my mind jumps off to something else and I'll never remember what that thing is.
I didn't even notice it until you just
so just want to apologize to you. So, okay. All right, the floor is yours, dog. The floor is yours.
Well, no, that was the first thing that...
What, the apologizing?
No, not that. No, just do you think that like sliding into DMs works and shit?
I gotta say, it's gotta work for somebody.
Because I know we like briefly talked about that, like just in passing last week, not on here, but just like when we were out and about. I think it came up in conversation randomly.
I gotta assume it works for at least one girl out there.
Yeah, man.
I feel like sometimes dating though is like a percentage game, like asking girls out and stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to get, a few no's before you get some yeses,
mm-hmm.
So mm-hmm. I think if guys are, it takes 2 seconds to send a dick pic, how many
mm-hmm.
how many inboxes can you flood with some dick pics? So
a lot. Yeah, I guess it's true.
So I mean, it's a percentages game. There's going to be a certain percentage of women that are into that.
Yeah, I'd say it's almost like sending, if you're sending dick pics in DMs, or even just regular DMs, it's like, yo,
Or text message.
Yeah, you're like, yo, I want to put this up in you.
Oh, jeez.
Or whatever your DM says. I guess if you send that to like 3,000 hoes or something, I mean, I'm assuming one of them or two of them or five of them are gonna bite.
Well, you know what? Now I thought of something else. So, okay. So we've met girls who, and I've talked to girls, and you and I have discussed this before about women who have like a certain size that they need when it comes to some what I call dick confidence, dick confidence. So that maybe is an easier way to flush out men who don't meet size requirements. So if and most likely, if you're the kind of dude that's throwing out some dick pics randomly, you're probably packing some good heat, right? Probably packing a good meat staff. And so at that point, you got to have the confidence to throw it out there. And if girls are into dudes with big dicks, then at that moment, right away, you check mark one of the things you're into. And you're like, all right, maybe this is worth talking to this dude a little bit more.
I can see that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you send out a job resume almost to like Career Builder or like whatever website you use, and like you send it to like I don't know what, like 10,000 job people or whatever, and like you get like 10 responses from the 10,000. I assume it's almost very much the same way.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, with like walls and dicks. I
agree, man. I think that's probably a very good point.
Yeah.
So maybe we're wrong. Maybe it does work more often than not.
I mean, there's probably like some good deep. You think there's like some sensitive dudes who are like throwing up straight like poetry and shit up in DMs? It's like,
oh yeah, dude.
It's like, yo, babe.
There's some white knights out there. They're taking like,
yo, babe, your hair's so soft when I saw it in the club. That shit was bouncing like my balls.
They're gonna be on your ass.
Yeah, I was trying to say something not perverted, but
you fucked that up at the end.
I guess balls on a hardwood court.
There you go. Balls off of the back of
off your neck.
What?
I don't know, but yeah, I'm just wondering.
Balls on the back of the, what is it? The backboard? Is that what it's called? A backboard. Yeah, man. So I gotta imagine that works.
Yeah, more power to you if you sign in those DMs and you get all kinds of mad love from them. Mad respect to you. Just don't be creepy about it.
Yeah, don't be creepy about it. But it's funny to me that we're attracting some savages apparently to the podcast.
Hey man, if you want a shirt, let us know.
It's a shirt.
I'll make you one. It'll be $25.95 shipped.
$25.95. Jeez.
Hey man, try to make a profit over here.
No, I will say, man, after creating some apparel myself for my main channel, links down below. It is expensive. Like I've done shirts, I've done hats, and when you're creating products and you want good quality, good materials, shit that isn't gonna go in your dryer and then come out like a puff of smoke, it's pricey, man. It's
just
pricey.
Gonna disintegrate in the lint trap.
Yeah. Go back to one of my podcasts, the one that's like Real Talk, Motivated Results, or Fitness, whatever it is. Links down below, where I talk about how shitty one of the shirts was that I bought from one of the fitness YouTubers, and to this day, I can't use that for anything except maybe mop up oil with. Yeah. And my car doesn't leak oil, so knock on wood. Shirt's still there, but when it does, that shirt's about to catch it.
It's ready, right?
It's ready.
It's just waiting for its
ready to
opportunity.
Catch it. Yeah,
it's true. Remember, I got those shirts made back in the day for the.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah, man, that was a good quality shirt.
I still have mine, and you're like, oh, I got rid of mine.
I have no fucking clue.
I've given you a Motivated Results shirt and a hat, and I don't think I've seen you wear those ever.
I don't have a hat. Oh, my dad has a hat.
I gave you a hat.
No, my dad has a hat. My dad has a hat. He wears that.
I was like, I gave you the hat, fool.
My dad has it when he's like doing yard work. He's representing that shit when he's
representing the yard work.
He's like, oh, the white people in our neighborhood's like, oh, what company are you from? He's like, what? I live here. It's like, oh, I'm not Mexican. No, you don't. Stop lying. Get out of here. Shit.
All right, man. What other news you have? I'm still reeling. Let's talk about UFC204. I'm still reeling from it.
Yeah, I am too.
I might have to post this tomorrow only because I don't want it to age too much. So, or post it next week or drop it as soon as possible. Yeah. I think 204 has made me realize why the UFC is and MMA as a whole is growing as a sport so much, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I you know me, I'm pretty well, I guess I can't say that. I was going to say I'm pretty base level. Like I'm not super emotional one way or the other, except when I get angry when I'm driving or something. But man, like in most UFC fights, like I don't get up in arms. I don't get like super into it. Like there's some, when you see a dude get hit and knocked into another planet, then you're like, oh. But for the most part, I'm pretty even keeled. That's what I'm looking for, even keeled. But Henderson versus Bisping 2, man, I got into that shit. I got into it, and I got into it because of the buildup. I got into it because I was so like involved with Dan Henderson that I wanted him to win, because I knew, at least he said, that he was going to be retiring after this fight. He was done. That dude's 46 years old, fighting in like one of the like toughest weight classes, because unlike some of the lighter classes, like it's a decent class. Long story short, he's 46 years old though, and he's a killer with that right hand. And I wanted him to win, because for me it was like, this guy is Captain America. He has he hasn't ever gotten this belt. This is the last belt that he's been out of his reach forever. He got this title fight because of the history behind him and Bisping, how he knocked him out like 7 years ago. And I got into him, and the whole time I was wanting him to fight. I was like rooting for him, and just even like I was like nervous and jittery for the first 2 rounds, which is unlike me. And it's crazy.
It was intense when we were up in the like bar right now.
Everybody at the bar was rooting for him.
Yeah, man, it was intense. Give it to Hendo, man. He fucking rocked him a few times.
Twice. He knocked him down twice.
He got some good other jabs in there. Got a few kicks. I don't feel the kicks were the best use of.
No, but I think he was just using them to mix things up.
Yeah, but hey, man, he did it. I'll say it was pretty impressive.
I think the decision could have gone either way.
Well, that was my big thing too. I'm like, I hate when they, like, I understand why you do it. Like, you're the champion and you're like, oh yeah, I can fight on my home turf. But like with boxing, I kind of understand, because like you're going 12 rounds, but like this, you're going 5 rounds, man. Like it's, and then the judges, like you always use judges from
the country you're in.
So I'm like, where you're in England, it was pretty decently close. I mean, we only watched it one time because we watch it live right now, but it was pretty decently close, I would say. I mean, I think the second round is what we were debating, and we're like, depends how they score that.
Yeah, I would have given Bisping the first round. No, Hendo the first round. Hendo the first round. The second round was iffy. Maybe Hendo because he knocked him down. He did. But, whatever. That could go either way. The third round was Bisping. Fourth round was Bisping. And the fifth round is like either or. It could have gone either way.
Well, the first 2 judges had it, 48-49. So I think they had it 3-2, 3-2.
Yeah, so all I know, man, is that it was a good fight, but I mean, it wasn't a great fight, but it was good because of the build-up, and I wanted that dude to win the fucking belt. Yeah. Like, for me, it came down to, if he got the belt, this dude was like Captain America. I was about to just spam Marvel, both their email, their Twitter, their building, fly over there and demand that they kill off Captain America and they make Dan Henderson the next Captain America. That dude is an American hero at this point. Like, the guy is 46 years old.
Yeah.
Still, what he made him look like after the first round is insane. His face.
He might need to get a metal face after that.
And I think if it wasn't for that, he rushed it too much. Like, after he knocked him down, he
should have backed off.
No. He should have gone in. But I think he shouldn't have done the flurry that he did. He should have been more tactful with his punches and been more exact. Because then he started going with the elbow, which is great. But then he just started kind of go elbow, punch. And he shouldn't have done that. He should have been more tactful to try to get the punches versus just trying to swing crazy. But I get it. It's a heat of the moment. And, it's a lot easier to talk shit after the fight. But overall, that's what I'm talking about. It's the idea that I got so into it that I was like jittery with my nerves the first 2 rounds, and it's exciting, man. It wasn't really the best card ever, but overall it was good.
Good card. It was a pretty entertaining one, I would say.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it didn't have the biggest names attached to it, but overall it was fun. And I feel for Hendo. It kind of sucks that I said it from mid-fight. I was like, if it goes to decision, it's going to be hard for him to win in England.
And that was my thing. I'm like, look, I understand you're champion and you want home like field, but I don't feel like that should be a thing. Like if you're from America, like all right, if you're in America, America's a big place, okay, and like that's where the UFC's from. That's where it started or whatever. So okay, a lot of the fights are going to be in the USA, all right, but if like where's DC from?
Georgia? I don't know.
Wherever he's from, like if that's his home state, then don't do his fight in Georgia. Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do it in like Nevada or California, somewhere else.
Well, I'm a little torn because if you're a champion, you almost want to fight where you're from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but like I see that you would want to do it at least once to be like, oh man, this is where I want it now. I get to fight in front of my home crowd. I get that, but it almost seems like unfair in the end because like the judges are gonna give it to you because you're in front of those people.
Yeah. Well, I guess the idea is to make it such a devastating performance that whatever.
I guess, but yeah, that was my thing. I mean, I'm not saying that did or didn't affect it. I'm just saying that's what I was thinking when it happened. I was like, I had always thought that too, but then I was like,
Yeah, I feel bad for Hendo, but a little bit of me is like, I wish they would have given him like a tie, because if he was going to retire anyways, like you might as well give that dude a tie, give him, you know, the satisfaction of winning with like not a negative or a loss, and then let him go and just merry way, you know?
Yeah, after I don't like Bisping. Let everybody aware that I don't like him.
I don't mind him. There's very few guys that I don't like, and I think Bisping is like one of the OG shit talkers, but you know, he's just doing it to build up the fight kind of guys. He's not like Cruz, where you can tell Cruz really doesn't like the dude and he's gonna talk shit, and he's just like a big shit talker. And Cruz is one of those guys that you could tell he's got some confidence issues or small man complex or whatever, but Bisping, I think, is one of those shit talkers. Like, even afterwards, he was, like, praising Dan. The first thing he said was, like, he appreciated him taking the fight.
Yeah.
First thing he said, the whole time Dan Henderson was having a speech, he was, like, congratulating him and thanking him for the fight, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just a big shit talker, and I mean, that's the positive and negative. The positive, once again, podcast below about shit talking in the UFC. The positive is that you sell the fight, you make more money, you build it up more, right? There's more at stake, but because there is more at stake, there's a possibility of you getting knocked the fuck into another universe and then having to wake up back at home figuring out what just happened.
Yeah.
So you know that scene in the previews for Doctor Strange, where like I think the monk chick pushes him and he comes out of his body. Yeah. That's what happens when you wake up and you come back.
That's what Hector Lombard did, right?
Yeah, Hector Lombard just woke up in that fight. And he was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you've been knocked out. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, wait, what's going on? There's a UFC on right now. Dan Henderson's fighting for the belt. What the hell? What the hell's going on right now? How long have I been out?
Like 3 months.
Yeah, man. So it's you know, sad for Dan, but Dan's a badass, man. Like you tweeted out that thing about throwing out that spirit energy and like the Goku spirit bomb thing, and it's totally true, man. I wish that guy would have gotten the belt. You know, it would have been good for him because he's such a freaking legend. I feel like Dana should have taken the microphone from Mike Stan after he got done interviewing him and be like,
it's like, shut the fuck up, goof.
That's
Let the American hero talk.
That's right. And he's like, we're inducting him into the Hall of Fame right now. Walk your ass to the back. Take a picture.
Here's your motorcycle, courtesy of Harley Davidson.
Yeah, so overall, though, I'm you know, good for him, man. Good for him. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't really look beat up. No, he didn't get hurt.
So he didn't look like he took much damage.
A fucking savage.
Real American hero.
At 46 years old, he coming out of that fight looking like he's gonna go have dinner with his wife and probably bang her out because she's a freak, by the way. Check out those embedded videos.
Oh, embedded, yeah, the embedded. I was like,
she's a freak.
I bet she's in about that life.
You fished out halfway of that on that joke there.
I don't know about. That's pretty extreme.
But anyway, so overall, big props to him. I'm very happy for him. You know, too bad he didn't get the belt, but you know, not every fight is a not every story is like a movie story. I think that's the one thing that we fail as Americans is like we watch so many movies that we expect everything to end like a movie. And the reality is, you know, like shit doesn't end like that, and that's not how life plays out sometimes. That's why I think people love Game of Thrones so much, because it's so realistic in the sense where the main guy that you think is gonna win isn't like may not even survive the season. So overall, fun 204.
All right.
So what are the topics you want to talk about? I want to just touch upon that because the legend Dan Henderson should be the next
real American hero.
He's a real American hero.
He needs a statue of him.
They need to kill off whatever flame on Captain America, and
it needs to be Hendo.
They need to be Hendo.
It might happen.
And instead of a star on his shield, I need him to do that jumping punch that he did on Bisping when he knocked him out in the first fight.
That's on his shield?
That's right.
So he throws it at people?
That's right. But his hand's going to be glowing in the American colors.
So when he punches you, it looks like Iron Fist shit.
Exactly.
Red, white, and blue.
Exactly.
He's like, it tastes like America, didn't it?
That's right.
Go home and cream pie my wife after I just saved America.
That's right.
About that cream pie life.
That's exactly right.
Probably, man.
If I ever see that guy, I'm going to buy him a drink, no matter where he's at.
I'm going to be like, so have you ever heard of condoms? He's going to be like, no.
He's like, that's some gay shit you just mentioned.
I was like, I thought you were a man buying me a drink, but I can see you're a pure woman. Get out of here.
So anyways, what other things you want to talk about, dog? I have one news article, but we'll talk about that last because I feel like dropping knowledge is going to be the news podcast segment while I drop knowledge on current events.
You know, soon we're going to just have this cut into like...
Cause I want bumpers. I want bumpers. Yeah, I want like dropping knowledge. It's like that reminded me of Killer Instinct, where it's all like, what is it? What is it when you do like a combo? It's like combo breaker.
Yeah,
is that what
break the combo? Yeah.
There you
go. Yeah, so we'll have just segments. Each one will be 10 minutes long.
Oh, I don't want that many segments. But anyway,
it's a 60-minute podcast.
Continue, dog. What's on your mind? What's
other thing I had was what's up with the clowns, man?
So tell me what's going on. I get pieces of this. What's going on?
Fucking clowns in America, man. You haven't heard about this? You've slightly heard about this?
DeFranco kind of talked. I don't know what the hell this is going. So there's people who dressed up as clowns? Okay.
So apparently this originated back east because there's nothing fucking to do in back east.
No, apparently not.
You thought there was nothing to do here. There's nothing to do back east. So people are dressing up like clowns. Like killer monster clowns. And they're fucking just going on people's porches and just fucking staring in their windows like this.
Really?
That's all they're doing.
But don't in the East Coast everybody have like shotguns and guns and
You would think that. See, TV has made you think that people back east are tough. Really, they're vanilla ice cream soft in the summer. Because see, you like if somebody would come to the window right now and be like, knock on the door, and they'd be like, and then you'd go look through the keyhole or the eyeglass thing. Uh-huh. You'd be like, hey man, I'd be like, what? There's a fucking clown out here. I'd be like, is there? And you'd be like, yeah, come here, look. And I'd look, and I'd be like, okay, like, so we're gonna beat this motherfucker up or what? And you're gonna be like, fuck yeah, we're gonna beat this motherfucker up, and then we just beat the shit out of him. But people back east don't do that. I don't understand why they don't do that.
So what are they doing? The clowns doing
nothing. They just stare at you.
That's fucking weird, man.
They stay on your porch, or they look in your window, or they just hang out in the street, and people are just like, no, it's normal.
And you know where that doesn't happen? You know where that doesn't happen?
Where?
In fucking Texas, where everybody has a gun, and you about to get 3 or 4 pieces of lead inside your body.
I swear, man. If there's if we ever see a clown, we're gonna fucking tag team him.
Good luck in Arizona, dog, because this is a free.
We're gonna unload.
Was it free carry state, or what is it like it's a
right to carry state?
Right to carry, yeah. But it's like you can have hidden
you
weapon
can have
licenses.
Weapons everywhere. I can be loaded up right now.
You can literally be like Neo in the Matrix when he walks into that.
You seen Deadpool where he carries that big bag of guns? That could be me right now. You don't know.
It's insane, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so apparently it's back east and it's been coming this way. And apparently some kids at my school. We're helping my little children because we got normal gen ed kids come in, help my little special ed kids. So I was making conversation with them, and they're like, "Oh, hey, did you hear about the killer clowns are going to come to our school tomorrow?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, a bunch of these killer clowns said on like Twitter or Facebook or some social media site, whatever the children nowadays are using. They're like, oh yeah, they're going to come to our school and they're going to be outside and they're going to start molesting people or something. I don't know." And I was like, "Is that true? Is that like a real thing that you can show me proof of?" And they're like, "Yeah, they said it was. I guess they went to a school down the street a little bit."
How many kids? High school. What ages are we talking about?
Well, there were the 6th graders. And I was like, I'm not sure I can trust anything
but
you guys say.
But the clowns, like, are they grown-ass
people? No, they're
people,
like grown-ass people, like teenagers. And so I was like, okay. I don't know if I can trust you guys because you guys are pretty immature.
Why is this even a thing? Like, if there was clowns coming
I was talking to them, and apparently the clowns are trying to get the purge going.
Oh, and that sounds like a purge thing, yeah.
I'm like, okay, but see, the problem with that is everybody was doing the purge.
Yeah.
You can't start the purge when there's only 10 of you. And then if there's only 10 of you, once we fuck the 10 of you up, there won't be any more of you. So, like, you see the problem? Like, the revolution you're trying to start's not working.
So is this in the news? Like, this is happening?
Yeah, it's happening.
And are people not being arrested or shot?
No, back east they're not because people are like, "Oh, I'm scared of the clowns."
What about here? If they were in another school district around here?
I can't find any proof of them coming here. Apparently there was some down in Maricopa or something. I guess some kids were, that's another county where we live, down there, and apparently they got arrested.
Yeah, I would imagine they would, especially at a school. Like, people don't fuck around with things in school. Like, cops and SWAT team will show up, and you about to get either lead or those beanbag bullets up in your face.
Yeah, like straight in your face.
Yeah, man.
We're in Arizona, so if it's the sheriff's office, good fucking luck. They ain't gonna find no body cam footage of you.
They're gonna go to town on you.
And I'm gonna be like, nah, this is nothing, man.
I don't care. It's like whatever.
I don't see shit.
Who does that stupid shit where you dress up as clowns trying to intimidate people? That's some stupid shit.
People who are about to get the fuck kicked out of them.
Yeah. I would like if I was you, I'd do like a scene from The Punisher and just have all the kids run to the room and just stand out there on the other side of the gate with a bat and be like, "Come at me, bro. We're about to get this lit up."
I fucking told him. I was like, if that clown comes over here, I'm gonna straight whoop his ass. I was saying this to 6th graders. I was like, I'm gonna straight whoop his ass.
That's crazy.
They're like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go up to him. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. And I'm going to rip his mask off, and I'm going to carry it around like I'm fucking Bane from Dark Knight Rises, so motherfuckers know I don't play."
You do like first season of Game of Thrones where they stuck Ned
yeah, I'm going to do that exact shit so people know I'm a fucking hitter. And then the 7th graders came in, and I asked them, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's the rumor going around." I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, but so Friday came around, and nothing happened.
Yeah, DeFranco talked about that, how it was more like just people saying things were going to happen, but nothing was going to happen. And I'm like, some of you guys want that purge to happen, but you don't realize, like, it's going to be a cluster if something like that happens. So, whatever. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's
the purge is a little weird. I don't want to give people ideas. So, anyways, continue.
Yeah, ended up nothing happened. But I was tweeting a whole bunch of
the clown
stuff
shit
on my Instagram.
Yeah, the whole clown thing is weird. Oh, by the way, all the social media links are down below. So mine, and his YouTube channel, which now he's uploading shit to. Apparently, good job, dog.
Maybe. Good job. Hey, everybody got to do something. Sometimes the random hand of the night gets them. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta start doing like reviews for like shows and seasons and. Dude, those take you 2 minutes to do.
Maybe I'll do Luke Cage once I finish it. You finished it. I'm surprised you finished it.
Yeah, I don't fuck around, dog.
I didn't think you liked it that much.
It's not the best show, so I still think Daredevil's the best.
Like you said, Jessica Jones was better.
I'd have to rewatch it now, but the problem is Daredevil has 2 seasons, right? Jessica Jones is quite good. If it isn't like as good, it's just slightly below Daredevil. It's quite good. You haven't seen that?
Mm-mm.
Dude, what do you do with your day? So I have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. I feel like Luke Cage is the least best, I guess. It's not as good, but it's still enjoyable. They use music very well in that show. There's one or two things that really upset me about the show that I feel like were huge problems that we'll talk about when you're done watching it. And those two things really kind of killed it for me because it so much of the storyline involved, so much of the season involved those two things, and I thought that was stupid. But besides that, I like the fact that they mentioned Daredevil and they mentioned like stuff that happens. They mentioned like the other Marvel characters within the universe, like the Hulk and the Avengers, and they mention Thor, and they mention I don't think they mentioned Jessica Jones.
He does in like the first episode.
But I like how they threw in his origin story in there. I liked a lot of stuff on the show. I think it's a good show. You know what I think Netflix is like fucking excelling in though is, and some people have made complaints about this, and I think it's quite the opposite. People are complaining, saying that the characters, the villains in these series aren't good, and they're like very basic and throwawayable, I guess. Like they just get rid of them and you just don't give a shit. I don't agree. I think what they've done tremendously well is building up the motives and the reason why these people are doing what they're doing. Yeah. Fisk, the Kingpin, has probably been the best Kingpin ever. Like better than the animated series. Like he's so good. Like his acting is incredibly good. Well,
yeah, and you see him in other movies too, and you're like, you're better than this. You can do better.
Yeah, that guy's such a good actor. But even the Purple Man in Jessica Jones, he was like very sadistic. You could tell he was a little crazy. And you could tell he was like crazy confident. He was good. And then Luke Cage, like they do a good job of explaining. Well, my thing is they do a good job of explaining their origins, the villains as well, and explaining like their motives, the reason why they're doing the things that they're doing. And with Luke Cage, you're gonna see the main bad guys and some of their main motives, and they're quite good, man. It's believable. It's incredibly well done and believable.
Yeah, I heard some people complaining. I don't want to say who was complaining. DC fanboys, but we're complaining that Cottonmouth and a Kingpin had very similar goals.
Well, they're doing the same thing. Well, how do you say that they don't have the same goals when they're literally like within the same cities and they're doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Like it's like you and I both being car salesmen and being like, you have the same motives. Well, yeah, we're both car salesmen.
Well, yeah, that was my thing too. I'm like, yeah, but they're like, that's the thing to do. Like, you see, this isn't a fucking.
This isn't Loki.
Yeah, no, this isn't Loki
trying to take over the universe.
And this isn't fucking Batman versus Superman bullshit where they're fighting for no reason. Like, this is a very grounded thing. Like, what do you think people fight over normally?
Well, what I'm saying is like it's Loki's like such a big villain that he's trying to take over universes, while these guys are just like businessmen that are trying to like find ways to hide money and move drugs and move.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a more realistic thing. Like, what do you think people do? Like, how do you think you get power? That's how you get power.
Yeah. So, but overall, I still think it's great shows. If you guys are into that stuff, watch them. I started watching some other shows now. I got to find some other shows that are going to be a little bit more interesting.
I was telling you, started watching Justified. You say you didn't like it. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you.
It's good, but it's not that good. Coming off of Fringe, coming off of some of this other stuff, it's not that good.
That said, you got to start at The Shield, and then you got to go to Justified.
Why do I got to watch one show that doesn't tie into the other one?
No, because it's like a story progression. Because each one came after the other one.
No.
And they all came after each other. So it's like a kind of a progression in like intense storytelling.
I suppose. I just don't think that the storytelling's that great. Like, I'm not involved with the characters. Like, I look at the Justified guy, I understand where he's coming from, some of the struggles with his family, and then the other dude and his family and the brothers, and I get it. Like, his divorce, which, by the way, his freaking wife is crazy because she's like doing stupid shit, but at the same time she wants him back, but then she's still married. It's a fucking mess. And I like the fact that dude's just like, I don't give a fuck, and he just shoots people. I like that. I like how he's confident and like he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you if you move. Like he's very confident and puts himself into really weird positions and is confident in those positions and is, whatever. But I just don't think the storytelling is like that captivating.
That one's more character driven one.
I don't think the characters are that like great. I think the dude that him and the is it his cousin? Is it his cousin?
Who?
The dude that shoots the rocket launchers?
That is not his cousin.
Whatever. That guy. I think that guy is. I think they're good kind of characters that play off each other very well. Why are you giving me that weird look?
You thought they were cousins, so I'm not even sure if you're understanding the show.
I know they're somehow not related, but I know he killed his brother. But like the two dads were talking and they were discussing their sons and whatever, and it's not that interesting to me.
Okay, that's not what happened.
The two dads were talking to each other.
Okay, that happened.
Yes.
But
what part did
Raylan
happen?
did not kill his brother.
No, he shot the brother, didn't he? Who did he shoot? He shot him?
He shot him.
Okay. And the brother was shot by the girl he was sleeping with.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. It's not. It's a decent show to have like in the background, or if you're just trying to watch something. But you can't compare this to like a Game of Thrones. You can't compare this to like a Fringe, where the characters are very well built and you get attached to the characters.
I disagree with you. How wouldn't you compare that?
Because I don't give a shit if any of the people from this show die. I don't give a shit. And I don't care if his boss dies. Maybe the main character, but even then, nothing draws me to his character. Okay. I don't care. I don't care if any of them.
Stop watching the show.
No, because I'm gonna play it out now. But what I'm saying is like that's my point. The point is that the characters like aren't. You don't get it. I haven't gotten attached to any of the characters. In fact, like it's freaking funny and kind of annoying how he's like sleeping with the one chick, but then he's kind of like over her because he started getting back with his ex-wife, and the ex-chick is now hooking up, or at least seems like she's kind of interested in the guy that he shot, and he's kind of living with her, and it's, it's all right. It's all right.
Are you on season 2?
Yes. Oh. It's all right, but it's not as captivating as some of the other shows I've watched.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Luke Cage or Daredevil or.
That's what I was saying. I think you should start with The Shield, because The Shield is storytelling and it's more action and more shit happens.
I guess.
So you got to look up that one.
Maybe. But we'll see. So you said Boardwalk Empire was good, so maybe I'll watch that too.
Boardwalk Empire is a little slower. It's like something like Justified. It's probably like, from what I can tell, like, all right, on Daredevil when like he doesn't fight and it's just like straight storytelling. It's kind of like that.
I don't mind that. When do you ever see? You hardly ever see fights in Game of Thrones.
I don't know. I skip by all the boring stuff, so it's a lot of boring stuff, man.
I think you were just trying to catch up too quickly into the seasons, and you missed out. Fuck, 43 minutes in.
No, I don't give a fuck about the one who didn't zigzag, the one who can't walk. What's his name?
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal now. Back in the day, you were like, who gives a shit? But now he's big deal.
Nope, still don't give a shit. But we'll see. When's the new season start? Summer, right? Next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gonna be a while.
I'm about to rewatch everything. We're gonna rewatch everything together.
We could do that.
Time.
We could do that and then just do like a season by season fucking recap. I like how I had to throw a fucking in there like that.
Yeah, say why would you?
It's filler, man. It's filler. That's what I'm saying.
We weren't even talking about any of that.
A lot of time, I'm just trying to like throw in filler, and I feel like there's some empty spots. It's like if you're building a wall, and like your bricks don't line up perfectly, and there's some cracks, and you can see the neighbor's yard. I feel like those need to be filled, and I fill those with 4-letter words.
I guess
that's what I'm doing.
That's why we can't go to Doctor Strange's.
You know what?
Corn
you know what? Doctor Strange to give me a goddamn letter for 2014 taxes.
He's not.
Well, then I don't need to see Doctor Strange. All right.
Well, you were saying
Doctor Strange can come at me, the Ayagamato at my dreams if he wants, but I'm not gonna see him in real life until I get my letter.
You'll fight him on the astral plane, right?
I'll make a Dormammu on his ass.
Well, you were saying you want to go to a corn maze because
Dude, there's so many videos I think we should start filming because now I'm gonna have so much. Like there's we want to do another pumpkin carving contest. We did last year. We got to get on that. And then it's cooling down in the afternoons now, so we can start doing some outside stuff. And so we need to get on these videos.
Yeah. Well, you were saying, I bring that up because you said you want to go to a corn maze, not the scary one. They go to
I don't want to punch somebody in the face.
A corn maze that is just literally a corn maze.
Yeah, we don't have to go Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no, we don't have to. But they're going, and I was like, I think I can get discount tickets if we say we're with them.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because I think it's like $7 to get in there, but if we go with them, I think we get since we're a group or whatever, I think it's like $5 or $4, something like that.
That way you and I can yell at each other like...
Yeah, we're like, hey, dickweed! Dickweed!
Yo, where you at? I'm about to cut through this fucking maze, this machete I brought.
I'm like, hold up, I'm going to light this corn on fire, let you know where I'm at.
Look for the gunshots. Yeah. I'm going to be right there. All right, son, I got some... I can't believe we're 45 minutes in already. Jeez.
Hey man, that's how we do it.
So I got some current events. Some. How did I do? What was my
knowledge?
My bumper.
Drop
Knowledge. All right. So I read this article. I don't know how I came across it, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it before I go on an epic rant about this. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the title of the article. I'm gonna read this to you.
Right.
I'm gonna read pieces of it because it's quite too long, but. The title is College Students, Masculinity is Extremely Toxic to Our Mental Health. And I quote, masculinity can be extremely toxic to our mental health, both to the people who are pressured to perform it and the people who are inevitably influenced by it. A group of Claremont College students hosted an event where they discussed why masculinity is triggering and toxic. Such a stupid word, triggering. And I'll continue. The event, Masculinity Plus Mental Health, it's an event, geez, was organized by a group of women called Thrive, who aim to provide safe place, quote unquote, for students who discuss mental health. This person called Stephen Glick wrote from the Independent, whatever. The Stephen Glick dude wrote this. Masculinity can be extremely toxic to our mental health. Is it a woman or a man? Stephen Glick? It's a man, right? Mm-hmm. Masculinity can be extremely toxic to our mental health, both to the people who are pressured to perform it and people who are inevitably influenced by it. And the page read, we would like to encourage the discussion on how to openly talk about our emotions and our well-being and how to engage in masculine identities in a healthy way. Relevant to this discussion is how masculinity can harm our relationships with people and one's ability to cope when relationships are difficult or end. When we create a safe and open space where we could talk about masculinity and its various intersections within our identities and experiences. Okay. Some guy named Miles Robin, a student, attended the event, said the group selected a topic of hopes of attracting men to attend. Attendees shared personal experiences about why traditional masculinity is harmful. There is a common consensus that masculinity is harmful both to those who express it and those affected by it. Apparently, this isn't the first higher education that has recoiled at the notion at someone exhibiting masculine trait. So, long story short, it would be, according to campus reform, it would be best in your floor to choose a different animal to be more impulsive. Wait, what? There's one piece I also freaking must have forgotten here. And I guess there was a point where, here we go. Last week, the University of Kansas check this out. They banned gorilla decorations because it was deemed too masculine and not impulsive. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm retarded. Last week, the University of Kansas banned gorilla decorations because it was too masculine and not inclusive, according to campus reform. And they said it would be best if your floor chose a different animal to be more inclusive, said campus housing official. The gorillas represent a very masculine image, and I feel that this would not be inclusive of all our residents on the floor. So what are your thoughts on this, dude?
That's, once again, the pussification of America.
Did I make that up or did Rogan? I think Rogan made that up.
Rogan made that up. Pussification of America, 197% pussification of America. That's that straight midsummer's day, soft as vanilla ice cream right there. That's what that is. That is exactly what that is. Like, I don't understand what... Like, yeah, you need a fucking manly-ass animal. Not even manly, just an animal that represents that you're serious. Like... You know what? Not even an animal that you think is serious. Just an animal that represents you being serious. Like if I want to fucking rock out a Caterpie tattoo, I'm gonna fucking rock out a Caterpie tattoo. Like I'm gonna be the most brolic dude with a Caterpie tattoo. Like you saying that is like just dumb. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I have no pity or remorse for this type of actions, man. I am, first of all, very thankful that I'm no longer in college because this is some weak bitch shit. Like, problem number one is the fact that this event was organized by a female or woman's group.
Of course it was.
Called Thrive.
Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be?
The idea of a safe place where students can discuss mental health. First of all, that to me is mind-blowing. Like, for you to... Colleges are catering to this pussification idea, the idea that you need a safe space to have an adult conversation with someone. What do you think is going to happen in a non-safe place? You get stabbed because the conversation is getting too masculine and people are going to stab you for masculinity? That's problem number one. Problem number two is the idea that masculinity being toxic is insanity. Like, these are the same women that are probably attracted to masculine men.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and talk about masculinity as a total being toxic for our mental health when that is who we are as creatures. Okay? For you to pretend that we are not animals of a different sort than an ape or than a dog or than an ant is insane. For you not to pretend like we have hormones and testosterone and estrogen and we have emotions that are tied to these not hormones. Yeah, hormones essentially is incredibly ridiculous. There's a reason why women sometimes their mood fluctuates depending on where they are with their hormones and their testosterone, and same thing with men and testosterone. Masculinity has nothing to do with somebody being an asshole. Masculinity has nothing to do with somebody making the bad decisions. Masculinity has nothing to do with women being hurt and feeling hurt by other people and not accepted, whatever. Masculinity has nothing to do with that. You're just dealing with assholes and you're dealing with people. And that's why I have a problem with feminism and women who choose to be pro-female instead of being pro-human. The idea when you make and you separate and you segregate yourself from other groups is a time where you're going to make yourself enemies for no fucking reason. Mm-hmm. And enemies out of a group of people that are your people, essentially. For you to pretend like a man is different than a woman and okay, let me backtrack. While a man is different than a woman in many respects, the reality is when you segregate yourself, it's the same shit that we do when we look at a Middle Eastern country and we say, fuck them because they're not us. And you cannot have that attitude of women versus men and then taking a word that's associated with men and talking about how that's toxic. Okay, you can't say, because let's face it, masculinity is associated with men. And you can't sit here and generalize and say that masculinity is bad. Because quite frankly, these ideals are the shit that women are attracted to. Why do you think women all of a sudden are attracted to dudes with beards? Why do you think women are attracted to dudes that they take off their shirt and they rip the shit? Yeah. Why? Because that's a masculine trait. And for you to pretend like that's not attractive or that's not that you're something that's in your DNA that you're into.
It's in your DNA. You can't do that. That's fucking monkey DNA shit left over.
And then also another part that makes me think, it's like, what are you going to do when you all you soft ass people that do this shit in your colleges, what are you going to do when you get into the real world?
I say, what are you going to do when you see fucking fucking Cain Velasquez right there, and you say some dumb shit to him. What are you gonna do when you see?
Let's go to our safe space. Safe space.
What are you gonna do when you see fucking roided out fucking Brock there, and you piss him the fuck off? He's gonna pick you up by the head and toss you around. No matter how hard you think you're in your safe space, he's gonna go in your safe space and ruin that safe space forever.
This is the same analogy that I've made with somebody in the past about. You're very comfortable in your own world, but you need to learn how to. Not just defend yourself, but also how to be an adult outside of your world.
Yeah.
When colleges create these safe spaces and they create these places where people quote unquote feel safe, what happens when you leave those safe spaces, the comfort of those college homes? What happens then? What happens when you're no longer living in a college dorm and you're living out in the real world and you have to walk, for example? Let's say you're living in New York and you have to walk to get groceries or go to the bar. What are you going to do then? Where's your safe space then?
I say you need to be shown the world. The fucking world ain't all rainbows and butterflies.
And you need to learn how to not be an asshole to people. Yeah. One thing I tell people, for those that are uber masculine, those people that they're probably not very happy with. And by the way, people, you're going to deal with these people wherever you go. Mm-hmm. And this is when I tell people that when you go to work every day and you meet somebody who, for example, is your boss, or maybe somebody you don't like, and they're assholes and they're quote unquote masculine, let's say they're men. For example, ladies, Thrive Group, let's pretend they're men, right? Let's pretend they're men and they're assholes. The reality is, like, you're going to have that once in your life. You are. And having these safe spaces do not teach you how to deal with adversity and to deal with bad situations and assholes, to be honest with you. But let me reverse it a little bit. Let me talk to the assholes, because it's not about masculinity. It's about people being assholes and not taking care of their egos and not maintaining egos and politeness and blah, blah, blah. The reality is, like, you assholes do need to fucking reassess your decisions, because I've been in jobs where there's these people that have certain titles or positions and they get a free pass sometimes of being rude to people, being assholes to people. But I'm going to tell you right now, karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch, because you might feel safe. That job that you're in and that title that you have makes that job your safe space. But be very careful with your decisions, because the reality is that once you leave that job, that place of business, or that thing that you hold power over people, when you leave that building, you're no longer in your safe space, and you're like everybody else. And let's say you're the CEO of this big company and you could be an asshole to all your employees, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, you're not gonna have that level of confidence going to a bar and acting like that asshole at that bar. Because there you have no power. Yeah. And there's going to be a dude there that all he worries about is the hierarchy of life. Mm-hmm. And just like a gazelle in the rainforest or in the African desert, there's going to be a lion that comes by and fucks you up. And that's just the way of the world. And so my point overall is, although you may be possible feminists in the Thrive Group that have these discussions, there is a karma aspect of this, where that same masculinity that you're trying to stomp like a fire is the same masculinity that sometimes balances the world. Mm-hmm. And those same CEOs that are assholes to you because they hold certain powers over you during your jobs are the same assholes that are going to get stomped over by some Cain Velasquez motherfucker in the bar because they think they're hard, and he's going to literally put a fist to their face. Yeah. You can't, it's a way of life, and I think all of us as a whole need to have better discussions about being pro-human versus pro-females or pro-males. But the reality is, like, everybody needs to be better at talking things out and get better at discussing their feelings instead of tying it to one thing and making a division between us, whether it's the female division, whether it's the US and Middle East division, whatever your division, whether it's black versus white or whatever. You guys need to be better at discussing things. And I'm at fault with this. Everybody is. But that's where things will move forward. When we stop talking about these weird divisions that we're making amongst each other. And it's that. And we need to move forward past that.
I say we're dividing. You think you're combining people more, getting to people. You're dividing us more than we are already.
Yeah. Like breaking down.
You're breaking it down more. It's just crazy. And that goes back to how I kind of teach, or I don't really, well, I do teach somewhat, But I would teach my older kids at my other job. I'd be like, you know, like you got to respect everybody, like just everybody, like just not me or just principal, but you got to respect everybody with the same respect that you would give me, even if it's a principal or it's a lunch person or it's a fucking janitor. You got to treat them all with the same respect that you would give me. And I know that was like fucking mind blowing for them. They're like, oh, I gotta treat them all with the same respect. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I treat everybody with the same respect. I give the same respect I give the principal as I give to you guys, my students. I don't say, oh man, that's the principal, let me go suck his dick. No, I treat you the same. I hold him accountable. I hold you accountable. I hold myself accountable for the same shit. And it's the same thing. You gotta fucking just respect everybody. And that's what I always try to get across is like, you know, we're all people, and don't be like, oh, I'm better than this person, or oh, I'm more fucking brolic and manly than that person or anything. No, just be like respectable about everything.
True that. Agreed.
Yeah. Also, I said that at a job interview this past summer. They looked at me like I asked them a fucking riddle. Because they're like, what is your teaching style? I'm like, oh, I teach my kids to respect everybody. Like, I give the same respect I give the principal, I give my students. They fucking literally looked at me like I gave them a fucking riddle to life. They just looked at me with the biggest look on their face.
Maybe they're looking for a different answer. Like, you're like, oh, I'm a 35-45 learn/recess play.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what you fucking want. That's how I do stuff. Then I said in Bane voice, I'm like, just because you pay me doesn't give you power over me. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, yeah, I'm going.
You're like, can you validate my parking?
Yeah, basically.
All right, man. Any last topics? That's an hour. That's a good little 15-minute rant.
Yeah, man. Gotta drop that knowledge.
Drop that knowledge.
We need to go to... Oh, I was going to say we need to go to Radio Shack, but there's no more Radio Shacks.
They're gone, dude.
They're all gone. So we can get one of those like little...
mixing boards
so we can record stuff and just push the button.
What we need to do is, instead of doing that, we just need to go to like Walmart. And you know the toy section, the kids' toy section, where you pull that lever and then the little thing spins and then it like lands one of the zoo animals. That'll be our bumpers. Today's a cow bumper. It's all...
So it's never the same one?
That's right.
And then in between I can just remix. I'm like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's funny. We didn't get to read from Urban Dictionary.
Well, we didn't have any words to look up.
If I can just go on there real quick and just pick the first word that shows up.
All right, if I talk to these fine people, these savages, while I look this up.
Hey, man, that was some fucking straight knowledge dropping on there right now. Can't see it, but the room caught on fire because there's so much knowledge that just got dropped on them.
Hey, man, you got to drop knowledge every once in a while.
Just like I'm going to drop knowledge on that clown. Not to fucking mess with me.
That's crazy. All right, is there like a randomizer where I can just...
Yeah, I think there should be words on the homepage.
There is. All right, son, what do you want to know?
First one that pops up.
Okay, I got a new one for you. Here we go.
All right, give it to me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Urban Dictionary defines financial erosion as... No, that's actually a proper one. Damn it.
Fail, son.
All right, I'm dropping knowledge on you guys. Back to it. I'm going to do this again. Urban Dictionary defines selective dickism as when someone is only a dick to a certain people. And I feel like that female group was selective dickism to straight masculine men.
Yeah.
Or masculine females. That's the thing, too.
All right, give me one more. Give them a good one.
All right. Well, not all of them are pervy, dog. Let me see.
Fine. I fucking want to... all right, no, it don't have to be pervy. It can be just some randomness.
Let me see here. I see, my mind's already like thinking dirty, so whenever I see some of these words, I'm like, that's gonna be horrible, but it's literally just like toothbrush. I'm like, all right. I'm gonna have to use this word in some way this week. Okay. Urban Dictionary defines porch dog as a person who frequently attacks others in speech or writing, but who possesses no intellectual threat whatsoever. The motivation of this type of person usually can be accurately construed as desire to be obnoxious and offensive. I'm going to give you a use of the word.
Yeah, give me one.
Or the origin first. The origin, the phrase, porch dog is used to refer to dogs that sit on the porches and bark vigorously and fruitlessly at passerby who possess no physical threat. And this is the example. Yeah, that guy was scathing response. What?
Scathing response.
That guy has a scathing. Oh, there we go. My bad. Let me reread this.
That public school system is best right here.
I'm over. See, the problem is like as I'm reading it, I'm thinking about saying things right. That's just stupid. I'm not focusing on what I'm reading. Anyways, example is that guy has a scathing response to just about everyone who posts on this forum. He's a real porch dog.
Porch dog. It sounds way worse.
It sounds worse than it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A gift card millionaire is a person who holds significant amount of money tied up in gift cards.
That's
shit.
Pretty good.
All right, people. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Once again, if you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button. I feel like that last rant we did, it was like almost like a real talk segment.
Mm-hmm.
I should cut that up and throw it as a real talk.
Mm-hmm.
But any last words for these fine savages?
No, man. Just be respectful to everybody.
Be respectful. That's right. See you guys next time.